Why hello beautiful people of the internet. This one's gonna be vulgar, so if you're not into that, now's your chance to vacate the premises. If you're here, then that must mean someone made a big oopsie doopsie. And now I gotta make a fucksy wucksy out of their God-given right to a thought process because they half-baked some bullshit and hit post in my comment section. Lucky for you, we won't let that slide in our kitchen without reminding everyone that No Child Left Behind was indeed a bad idea. Welcome to Analyzing Not So Smart Comments. I'm your host King Spider, and today we have a baker's dozen of dumb to decipher, but for some table setting, I posted a very blunt video discussing the nature of those who come to martial arts and hand-to-hand combat conversations with force multiplier asides. In response to my take, 5 writes,
"Take yourself out of the situation and think. If you were confronted by a trained fighter and you weren't one, what would you do? This idea of being fair and good sport about combat is ridiculous, and only time you should expect a fair hand-to-hand fight is in a professional setting."
Oh, heavens. If it wasn't for all the dramatic pauses due to the spam ellipses, I might have had a stroke from the selective shorthand, but I digress. This comment is a slick one, but don't worry, I've got a grasp on this sort of arguing style, being a man who wakes up with fresh and hot audacity every day. First off, let's dissect piece by piece. It doesn't look like much, but a lot is at play here. So good old Fives here jumps right into the deep end with a very amateurish tactic consisting of framing plus implied bias accusation. This means that he's preloading the discussion with me being the emotional biased one, and he positions himself as the objective one before he argues anything of substance. This matters because it tries to win credibility without evidence. It's pre-gaming being right. Next, we continue the scheduled train derailment with a hypothetical pivot plus a false scenario selection. He swaps my original content, which was a discussion about hand-to-hand skill, for a new scenario, a real-world confrontation, to bolster his take and take away any foundation set by the original statement that I made. And this is the main derail at play. He changes the domain from ability to survival. Gotta love when men wake up with that fresh load of audacity, huh? We then waltz into the infamous straw man setup and further assumptions as he assumes that I'm not trained, even though I am, and to make this hypothetical version of me feel more helpless and justify escalation in his weird fanfic. This again bolsters this odd, untrained person fantasizing about fairness take that he's conjured up. The follow-up is a doozy because we stumble into the fall of any would-be comment warrior, and that's the obtuse ridicule angle. He assigns me a claim that I didn't make. Combat should be fair, or good sportsmanship. Then he dismisses it as ridiculous. Like, okay, buddy, you literally said it, not me. If you're noticing a trend, good for you, because once again, it avoids engaging with what was actually said and tries to score points with contempt, somewhat like the initial discourse in and of itself. Now we run into our age-old friend, the false dichotomy, plus the rules of reality. The appeal here rears its butt-fugly head next, and he clumsily sets up 2 ideological buckets. Real life equals unfair, anything goes, while at the same time, professional equals fair. And this implies any talk of hand-to-hand combat as naive unless it's in a sport. Why does this matter? It pretends that there's no middle ground. Self-defense training, de-escalation control, legal ethical constraints, skill discussion, etc. I might be autistic, but even I understand that things are not that black and white in the realms of throwing hands. As with most smooth-brain digital banter, there's a reason that it has the same intellectual weight as a Sims argument. Like the original people in my original statement, gun users, he doesn't address the original point, which was people derail martial arts talk by saying, "I never done," and he never brings anything of substance to that conversation. He just confidently yells,
"Violence is unfair,"
which is a true statement, just the wrong argument and a classic derail/red herring tactic. We also get a shot at extra points with this one, as there's a clear but hidden ego move or status play mixed in with a moral high ground angle and dominance signaling. You see, the subtext is, I'm realistic, you're idealistic. It's not just a plain old disagreement, and it never was, but it then becomes an attempt to frame me as childish or even illogical, so he wins this fanfic he's created, socially speaking. And with all that out of the way, there you have it, the breakdown and regurgitation of a lukewarm take from Rube Temp IQ. While I love to preface these talks with the notion that I'm approaching this from a logical standpoint and not that of a demeaning one, you caught me on a bad day, Fives. You all enjoy your internet scrolling, and before you hit post, ask yourself, are you really about that? Peace.